Hey guys, Gravender here. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Marvel Contest of Champions. And today I'm going to be going over my top 5 most wanted counterpart villains for the game. There are so many characters in this game that absolutely have no villains whatsoever. And to me, that's kind of a travesty because we have so many other characters in here who have tons of villains in the game. And what really kind of inspired me to do this is my video with Rizzo the Legend, and the fact that whenever we did our second most wanted characters in the game, I went with all villains. And the biggest reason that I picked the Mandarin for Iron Man in his video was the fact that Iron Man really doesn't have a villain in the game. I mean, yeah, you could kind of argue to the fact that Iron Patriot is kind of a Iron Man villain, but really not like the biggest villain that he's ever had. And there was a good period of time where Iron Patriot was a good guy too, so because that was, you know, Norman Osborn trying to make up for all the bad that he did as the Green Goblin. But let's move on into my top 5 most wanted, and these are not going to be in any particular order either, because there's no way to really gauge these on who would be the best, and this is number 5, this is number 1, so on and so forth. So this list is just going to be completely random. You take it for what you want, but let's move into the first pick that I have made. First character on the list that does not, in my eyes, have a villain in this game is Daredevil. Daredevil has been in the game for a long period of time. He does not have a villain whatsoever. And I'm not going to go with the typical, let's bring in the most viewed as the biggest villain he's ever had, which would be Kingpin, but I'm going to go with Bullseye, because not only does that encompass Daredevil, but it also ties in with Hawkeye as well, because you have Bullseye, who is almost the exact counter opposite to Hawkeye, who is, you know, the man who can't miss. And Bullseye is exactly the same way as being, you know, the bad guy who can't miss. And we also were teased at Bullseye in the MODOK, Mo Problems mission as well, whenever we had that little teaser trailer. And on one of the boxes we had some throwing knives. Those belong to Bullseye. So, I mean, it's a possibility. It's within that realm of ideas that we could possibly get Bullseye in the game. And, you know, obviously we could possibly get the throwing knives, or we could possibly get the playing cards, and we would actually have a character that could throw playing cards as some kind of move, instead of, you know, Gambit, who only does it as a small burst of energy off of his heavy attack. And yeah, so that's my first pick. Let's move on into the next one. Next character I have up on my list is Black Bolt. Black Bolt has no villains in this game, and another key aspect is this guy that I have picked could potentially be a bad guy for any of the other Inhumans they bring into the game. He is, you know, been on a mission to come destroy every single one of them. So Maximus the Mad would be absolutely awesome in this game because of the fact that he has so many cool powers. He's intellectual. He has projection powers. With all the stuff that we've been going in the game right now, I think that he would be an absolute awesome addition, and he would kind of add to that whole Dr. Voodoo thing that we got going on coming up next month, where he's kind of that obscure character that not a lot of people know who he is, but he's Black Bolt's brother. He wanted to rule the Inhumans, but Black Bolt was there. You know, he tried to take the mantle. He's always tried to take the mantle as being the leader of the Inhumans. It would only make sense that we could get Maximus the Mad in here, and it would kind of make Kabam a little bit more happy, being able to bring in more obscure characters. And I think the next villain that I have on the list would actually fall into that kind of obscure villains list as well. Next up, I've got Iron Fist. No villain whatsoever. And considering the fact that we actually have him coming out in the Netflix series not too long from now, and the potential for this guy, this villain, to be in that Netflix series would be kind of cool. To have him in the game as well. Complete and total counter opposite to Iron Fist. almost the exact same move sets, only with different spirit abilities, and that is Steel Serpent, the guy who wanted to be the Iron Fist, but was beat out by Danny Rand. I mean, it would just make complete and total sense to me, and I mean, it really wouldn't be that hard to actually make the character. You look at Iron Fist, and the only really big differences between him and Steel Serpent is a lot more purple instead of green, and instead of the Iron Fist symbol on his chest, he's got a serpent symbol on his chest, similar to the original Netflix Daredevil series. If you guys watched that, the drug was actually called Steel Serpent, and on the labeling package of those drugs was the actual symbol that rests on the chest of Steel Serpent. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of a little throw to Iron Fist and Danny Rand and to Steel Serpent himself. So now let's move into the next character. Next character I have on the list with no villain, Black Panther. Black Panther has a plethora of characters that could potentially be added into the game, and I couldn't really settle on just one, so I'm doing two for this one. I'm doing two because we have the potential from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to be able to get to. In Avengers Age of Ultron, we were actually introduced to Andy Serkis as Ulysses Claus, and he actually got his hand cut off by Ultron, which would spawn his little vibration gun being put on his hand. So, I mean, there's potential that he could possibly be in the Black Panther movie. I mean, we've already been introduced to him, but one character that we have definitely been introduced to, or at least teased at and said, hey, this character is going to be in the movie of Black Panther, is Man-Ape. Man-Ape would be an absolute awesome counterpoint to Black Panther in this game. He would definitely be a skill type character, but he would be kind of comparison in the same size as like a Hulk or a Hulkbuster in the game, and just potentially wreck things. Man-Ape would be an absolute awesome character for the game. I would personally rather go with Ulysses Claw because of the fact that, you know, he would be a tech character that we could add to the game, where we're actually lacking in a lot of tech characters. So let's move on into my final pick. Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, Carol Danvers. We have two different interpretations of Captain Marvel in this game, but we have no villains for her in the game. We have no counterpart to Captain Marvel. She's been a character from almost the very beginning of the entire game. I can't remember if she was one of the original characters they put in. Then they introduced the Ms. Marvel character suit, which, I mean, is awesome because of the fact that it's the original, but she has absolutely no kind of counterpart to her. So what I'm going with on this character's villain pick is Moonstone. Moonstone would be an absolute beast of a character in this game, kind of in the same vein as Phoenix. Some of the other characters in the game, I mean, she can fly, she's got energy projectiles, she's super awesome as far as she's just overall, as an overall character, she is almost at the tops of every single list on her power grid. It's absolutely insane to think about the potential that we could possibly get with having Moonstone in the game. And not to mention that, but she's also being a Ms. Marvel. So, I mean, it's just one of them things that, to me, these kind of things need to happen in the game. And most of the characters on this list fit into that mold of what Kabam wants to do with really obscure characters. Let's bring all these obscure characters into the game, and it makes the longevity of the game even more better. It makes it longer. It makes it just makes it awesome, in my opinion. It's just, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other characters in this game that could have better counterparts or don't have counterparts brought in. So this is definitely not going to be the first of this type of video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let me know down in the description below, if you're comic book fans, what characters in the game would you like to see brought in to counteract some of the characters that we currently have? Do you see any characters in the game that don't have villains that you think need villains? What villain do you think should be brought in for them? But let me know down in the comment section below, guys. And that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, it's your first time watching the channel, please consider leaving a sub on it. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like on it. And as always, guys, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.